Hello everyone, welcome back to the TechArt Learning Hub. I'm Preeti Bodeti and today we'll be talking about the Private Service Connect, one of the services in Google Cloud. Let's talk about what Private Service Connect is and how are we going to use it in our use case. Private Service Connect helps us to access the Google managed services or third-party services privately using the internal IP. Instead of requests going to the public endpoints over the internet, Private Service Connect keeps the traffic within the Google's backbone. This provides us with greater security, compliance, and even better performance. So now let's start the use case. What we are going to do is I have created a fast API endpoint where I'm going to check the host's IP address before the private service connect and after the private service connect. So before the private service connect, the IP is going to be the public IP address. You will see the difference. And later after configuring the private service connect, that is PSC, so y'all can attain the private IP. So before that, I'm just going to tell you all how the flow is. I have already done the deployment. Usually many of you all must have known how the deployment in Cloud Run is. So I have created a Python environment and I have given all the environment details and the variables. And I have created two endpoints. One is the default endpoint where we can retrieve the basic response of the application to check whether it's running properly or not. And the next API is to check the IP address. And then I have also created a static prompt asking what is Private Service Connect, and the Gemini is going to give us the response. So the Gemini's response along with the host IP address, which we will configure it as a private IP. So that is the flow of the process. I have already deployed the application in the Cloud Run. So if you all can see, I'm just going to the Cloud Run, and under the services we have two, but I've created one of the services which is the Private Service Connect service. And if I just hit this URL, so if I just do the default, see, welcome to the secure access to the Gemini API. Okay, this is the default response of the application that I've deployed. And there is another extension to that, which is check IP. So if I hit this URL, it just takes little bit of time than the previous one because the Gemini model should have to give the response. So if you can see here, the host name is the US Central One AI platform, googleapis.com. It's the Google API of Vertex. And then here we have attained the IP, which is the public IP. This is the main thing to focus on because we are going to see the difference in this response after PSC is the IP only. Later, I have given the static prompt, which I have told. This is the static prompt I mentioned in the code. And this is the response that the Gemini model has given us. So the Google Cloud Service that allows you to privately access services across VPC networks, even if those networks belong to different projects, organizations, or even Google itself. So it gives us the private access. So the Gemini has also given a proper validated answer. So it's all good. Now what we are going to do is we will configure the Private Service Connect. Okay, before moving on the configuration, I have shown you all the private service, the Cloud Run service. But now I'm going to show you all which is the service account key file, because we need to access the Vertex AI. So we need the service account being created, and I have mentioned and maintained it in the .env file, the service account, but once after deployment we couldn't access that. So I have mounted a path by mentioning the service account details. So I just maintained it in the secret manager. If you could see, I created the service account file It's the Vertex AI private service account. I have maintained this in here. And if you just go to the Cloud Run service, you can just mount it in there. So under the private service connect service, if you just edit and deploy the revision, so under the secure, oh, just a second. I don't think we need, where did I, let me just go back. Yeah, oh, sorry, here only it is. It's under the volumes, and here I have mounted the path, which is in the secrets service account, Vertex AI private service account, and the service account on JSON. So this is what I have mentioned, and clearly I mentioned this in the local environment too. And then I have built the image and pushed it to the artifact repository. I'll show you all here the artifact repository. And then I have deployed it to the Cloud Run. That is the process I have done. So here, this is the image that's been pushed and used for the deployment. But the thing is, we can mount this volume path after a service has been created. So first you'll build a service with the so-and-so path, and then push it to the repository and then do the deployment. And later after that, edit the mount path and again redeploy it. So then access the revised version, and then all things will be good. So this is the part of the Cloud Run. Now we will move on to the VPC. So I'm just going to create a private network. So the default is right in here. So create VPC network. I'm just going to say PSC VPC, and I'm going to give a custom and with a subnet 1. So PSC subnet 1, and the region is US Central 1, and the IP range I'm going to give this, and that is all. Just hit create, leave the rest as is and hit create. So once the VPC will be created, we need to create a serverless VPC access, because Cloud Run is the serverless managed Google service. So now in order to have it accessible to the private network, we need to create the serverless VPC access. Once that connector has been made, then we will create the private service connect with a private endpoint, and then we will create the DNS zone. So let's go to the serverless VPC access that creates a bridge between the VPC network and the Cloud Run service. So here I'm just creating the connector. I'll just give the name as serverless connect and Cloud Run. I'm going to give as the custom as 10.1.0.0. I'll hit create. So once the Cloud Run connector has been created, we will create the private service connect endpoint with private IP, static it's gonna be, because it's literally attached to the VPC network, because the private service connect is all about private and secured access. So that is why it's all connected with the VPC. So in order to access the VPC, obviously since the application is deployed in the Cloud Run, we need serverless VPC access. So that is the reason additionally we are configuring this. So let's go to the private service connect, and we'll add the endpoint. So connect endpoint, let's put global, okay, and all Google Cloud endpoints, and I'm just going to give as a private service connect Gemini Vertex AI. Okay, network main, I'm just going to give, okay, name must match, okay. Okay. I'm going to give the static IP. So it's the private service connect IP. And I'm going to give as 10 dot, oh sorry, 12.12.10. Okay. And I'll hit save. So this is a private internal IP, which is static. And I'm going to hit add endpoint. So we've added the endpoint. So and before that, let's again go back to the VPC and see the serverless. Okay, VPC network and serverless VPC access, and it's been established. So this part is good. And then the private service connect, that is also going well. Now the thing is, whenever a request has been made to the Vertex AI, the GCP Google APIs are very well tuned that within the Google premises only, they use the public IPs. They're so tuned in that way. So in order to have it go to the specific route, we need to create a DNS zone and let it know that, hey, under this host name, please just go to this so and so IP address. So we are tuning the requests to take that specific path with the help of the DNS zone, stating that under this host name, please just go and trigger that respective IP, which is the private service connect IP. So let's go to the DNS. The private service connect is all set. So DNS, cloud DNS, and then I'm going to create the zone. Let the zone name be, I'm going to hit private, Gemini, Vertex, AI, DNS. Okay. Now the options are default. Add networks will be the PSC, VPC, and we will hit create. And after creating it, we need to add standard. So I'm just going to hit add standard. And okay. So now let's create the DNS zone. So I'll hit create zone and I'll give the zone name as Gemini DNS zone. And in the zone DNS name, I'm just going to give the host name, and then I'm going to leave the logging as off. And then additionally, I'll just put private because we have to add the network. So add networks, and that's going to be the private service VPC, and I'll hit create. Once this is done, we'll just add a standard within the zone. Here, if you can see the DNS name as the zone which we mentioned it in the code itself, that under this host name, we just want to trigger the static IP address that we've created in private service connect. So I'm just going to leave the record type as A, and the IP address we are going to select it, which we've created in PSC. So I'm just selecting it, and then I'll hit create. So the path has been clearly made, but the only thing that's left is the Cloud Run to interact with the VPC, because after the VPC, it just goes with the flow until the DNS and just triggers the private service connect private endpoint. So the zone has been configured correct. And now let's go to the Cloud Run. So I'm just going to click on the Cloud Run, and under my service, the private service connect service, I'm just going to edit and deploy new revision. And later on, if you can see under the networking tab, you can see connect to a VPC for outbound traffic, right? So just check on that box and then send traffic directly to a VPC. No, we need to go for the second option, which is use serverless VPC access connector. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to select the network as I don't understand why I just got I need to get another serverless connector. Okay, yeah. Serverless connect, yes, exactly. This is the one which we've created. I'm sorry, I thought because it's default shown, so I thought it's something already existed one. But looking at the name serverless connect CR, this is the one I've created. So I'm just selecting the serverless access connector which I configured. So we are going to adjust that, and now we don't want to route all the traffic to the VPC. We just want only the request to the private IPs to the VPC. So we'll click on that, we leave that, and then I'm going to hit deploy. So we'll get the latest revision, and again we'll hit the same URL and check how the IP is gonna be. So basically here the IP address should be move to 10.12. And so on, like what we've configured in the private service connect. That endpoint has to be given as a response in here. Let's wait for a moment. I think it's gonna complete fast. It's all done. So I'm just gonna copy this endpoint and I'll just paste it and run. This is as is. And now I'm just going to check the IP. LLM should give response. Okay, it has given the public endpoint. Let's see what we are missing. So the issue is it's shown as default, right? So my guess would be like, is it referring to the default VPC or not? So I'll just go to the serverless connect again and just see. I'll just go back. I hit cancel firstly. Let's go to the VPC and check VPC networks. This is the network serverless VPC. Let's see. The serverless connect is under the default network. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm gonna edit it. And okay. So I don't know whether we can edit the network in here. So I'll just create another one. So that would be best. Network, we couldn't edit the network. So okay, it's fine. I'll just create another one. So I'll just delete this. It's fine. Cloud Run VPC Connect. So fast. This network. Okay. IP range is 10.0.1.0. Create. Now we will set this connector to the deployed service. So then let's see how the IP is gonna be retrieved. I think it takes some time. Let's wait. The serverless VPC access has been created. Now let's go to the Cloud Run service. So I'll just go to the Cloud Run service and then again go to that deployed service, edit it, and go to the networking tab. And now let's go to the, okay, so it's under custom. Yeah. Now if you can see, it's under the private service connect VPC. I'm gonna click that and route only requests to the private IPs to the VPC, and I'll just deploy it. So let's see now. I'm pretty sure that the IP address is going to change to the private IP. Okay, the deployment has been made. So let's go and copy the URL. Okay, and I'm going to the new tab and I'll hit with the default endpoint and let's check the IP. Yeah. If you can see now, the result IP has been the private internal IP. So this is the main thing. So now whatever request has been triggered to the Vertex AI for the Gemini response, it will always trigger to this particular private IP, which is 10.12.12.10. So this is all about the private service connect. It will help us to access any endpoints within the Google Cloud to just directly use the private internal IPs, not the public endpoints, thereby ensuring security. What more do we need? So yeah, this is all about the private service connect. I hope you all had a good time getting some knowledge regarding this service. If you found this video helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon for more notifications and to learn more content like this. Thank you.